Hey y'all, so I want to go over the persuasive speech guidelines with you very briefly and address some questions that my students have had about this speech from the past. So, to remind you, the purpose of this speech is to change your audience's attitudes, actions, to take action, or their beliefs about a topic that you personally care about, that you are passionate about, something where you have an opinion because it's going to be your job to create a case to persuade them to change their attitude, actions, or beliefs. So, when thinking about a topic, a lot of students come to me with a very broad topic. And I often tell them, you need to narrow it down, you need to narrow it down. Not only for the purposes of time management, but also for the purposes of doing research and having a specific thing you're asking your audience for. And the one thing that I want to draw your attention to is this on number 5 right here. Is this topic about something that I can actually change their mind? Because if your topic is not controversial at all, or if everyone already agrees with you, then you're not going to be changing anybody's mind. Likewise, if your topic is too controversial and your audience already has strong beliefs about it or values around it, you're unlikely to change their attitudes too. So, for example, a topic that I would say is not controversial at all is college students should be eating healthy. That's not controversial. We all know we need to do it. And there's nothing that you can say in 5 to 7 minutes that is going to change our minds about how we eat. Okay? So not controversial at all. We already agree with you. We know we need to do it. But if something is too controversial, such as abortion or the death penalty or anything surrounding religion, again, you're not going to change our mind in 5 to 7 minutes. Okay? So keep that in mind when choosing your topic. So moving forward, remember you have to have 5 oral citations for this speech. So just to reiterate, an oral citation includes the author, first and last name, the source where you get the information, and the year it was published. Okay? And as you do your rough draft outline, underline those oral citations so when I glance over it, I can look through them to make sure that they're credible and ethical sources. Okay? So, just like the other 2 speeches, you have a requirement of a 3-person audience. You're going to be standing up, the camera's going to be behind your audience, so I see their 3 heads, and I see you using your keyword note card. Now, up until this speech, I've been lenient with the audience, especially the note card aspect. So I really want to see you use your note card. I really want you to look up at the camera and look at your audience so they know that you are speaking to them. Because again, you're not going to persuade anyone, especially if they think that you're not even talking to them, right? So give them your full attention when you're asking them to change their attitudes, actions, or beliefs, okay? So you know that you need to have your note card, an audience, you need to be standing up. And finally, note that this speech is 5 to 7 minutes and it is worth 100 points. So it is the biggest speech of the semester. So at the beginning of the semester, I told you, I don't expect you to be perfect in this class. I expect you to learn and grow. And this is the speech that you get to showcase your public speaking growth. Okay? So I'm really looking forward to hearing your speeches, 5 to 7 minutes. If I were you, I'd be looking back over the feedback I gave you for the other speeches, see what you can incorporate into this speech. And I would be looking at the rubric to see where the points are going to be taken from. So like introduction, body, conclusion, right? So I want to know like how much is a transition worth? How much is my note card worth? Because all the point values went up from the other 2 speeches. So definitely look at the rubric. Anyway, I hope that this clarifies any questions that you may have. This document is on Canvas under modules, but it's also under files and then persuasive speech. Let me know if you have any questions. Bye.